Hello, beautiful Jodie.
Hi, Queen.
How are you?
I'm really, really well, thank you. Really good.
You look like you're about to go to the Oscars.
Wow, this is what queens look like, Lucy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for dressing up for our little spotlight chat.
It's my pleasure.
Let's dive straight in because I have a little girl that's being sleep trained and I want to give you my full undivided attention to get to all the juicy parts of your experience with Soul to Soul. So why don't we just take a moment, first of all, introduce yourself, where you're from, how old you are, all that good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Jodie Blowfield and I live in a county called Leicestershire in the UK. I'm 34 years old. I graduated Soul to Soul around 2 months ago now, quite literally changing my life. And yeah, I've never been in a better place. I'm so grateful to this program for everything it's done for me.
Oh, I mean, Jodie loved this so much that she now actually works with us on our team. So
which I'm so happy about. I adore it.
It's so awesome, but it's just been such a journey. And as much as you're looking at Jodie now thinking, oh my God, she's got it all going on, because she does now, but this is not where she was when she came to us. So I'd love for you, I know it's when you're all like everything's in flow and suddenly I'm saying, let's go back there. But let's just go back there, put your hand on your heart, whatever you need to do to really connect with that Jodie who booked not just one call, because remember, I think you cancelled, didn't you?
I cancelled 2.
Well, 2 calls because resistance was coming up and eating you alive. So let's go back to when you finally did get on a call. What were you saying to yourself, even to book that call for the 3rd time? Like, what wasn't working? Why did things need to change for you so drastically?
So I was the queen of my own self-sabotage. I didn't allow any true intimacy to come to me at all. And cerebrally, and when you talk about this in the free group, Lucy, that women know that they are deserving of a relationship, they know that they're deserving of their dream life, but it's all from here. And that's where I was. So from the outside, people would look at me and think, wow, Jodie's got an amazing life, she's got a good job, she's got tons of friends, her family life's great, but why is she single? And that question happens so much, like, why are you single, from men and women? And it's because I did not deep down feel worthy of love. And the absolute catalyst that made me book that 3rd call, as you say, I cancelled 2 because I was just so in my own way. And I just thought, I think the first time I thought, I don't need this, but then I've been doing that for 34 years and it hadn't got me anywhere. The second time, it just came up that no, I can't invest in myself. And the 3rd time, I was actually dating someone and he was aiming to give me everything. And I was like this, like bodyguards everywhere. I couldn't take it in, and I sabotaged it, and I told him that I wasn't ready. And it was at that point, at 34 years old, wanting children, that I thought, I cannot keep doing this and expecting that it's going to change the next time I meet a man.
Yep.
And that's what took me to that 3rd call.
I love it. What I'm hearing is you cancelled it because you knew that if you got on the call, then you'd actually have to do something, right? Yeah. The fear of actually getting what you want, the fear of actually investing in yourself. And then what you said was such a coined phrase where you were like, I'm not ready for this with this guy. And then I'm not ready for this kind of investment. I'm not ready for this kind of leap of faith and change in my life. There was this not readiness that was holding you up in every area of your life. So even when you did have the guy in your life, it was pointless because, as you said, deep down, behind the gorgeous face was, no one's getting through here.
No one. The bodyguards were many.
And I want you girls to really see, look how beautiful Jodie is. You know, I attract in all the beautiful women. I just do. All the beautiful rock stars I have the pleasure of working with. But I remember being in that position where I had the same thing being said to me. Lucy, how come you're single? Like, what's the deal? Like, you're such a great catch. And I kept hearing it so many times that for a while I was like, yeah, I know I am. It'll happen. And then I got to a point where I was like, well, if I am such a great catch, right? Then
Sorry, my dog's barking.
your dog's completely agreeing, right? What's the deal with women that are great catches that are not moving the needle? And that was the thing where it got to a point where I was like, if I have one more person telling me I'm a great catch and yet nothing to show for it, that was when I started to question myself, going, there has to be something wrong with me. Like, there has to be. And so did you get to that place?
In my head, my dog's crying because I think she's feeling my energy. In my head,
Okay, sweetheart, we'll get to the good bit in a minute. We'll get to the dream soon. Tell your doggy.
Yeah, Nelly, we'll get there. We're there, darling. Yeah. Shush. In my head, I knew I was ready. I had no idea. I wasn't. When I say I wasn't ready for it, it's because I wasn't feeling worthy of it.
Yes.
And I blocked it. I blocked all of it.
This is the conundrum that happens where I've got blueberries all over my mouth, but yeah, sorry. This is where it's like, oh, I'm so perplexed. I just don't understand it. I'm putting myself out on apps, but these guys just don't show up for me. Stop being perplexed. As we're talking about right now with Jodie, she was showing up. She had the date. She was on the dates, but she wasn't bringing her heart in. And deep down, if you don't feel worthy of receiving love, which actually goes back to your childhood, if you don't feel worthy of receiving full stop, you're going to sabotage, you're going to push it away. It's like if someone says, I love you, you can't even receive that because you're kind of shocked by it. You're like, why do you love me? Because you don't love you at that level. And that's what this conundrum is. It's not rocket science, girls, okay? It's not. And it's not even rocket science to attract in your soulmate. You can all have your soulmate, no problem. I don't mean a guy, I mean a soulmate. But what you have to do, and that's what Jodie realized on our third call, oh, I'm not being that for myself. I'm not good at receiving. I have all these reasons and excuses, and you're a total control freak.
Absolutely.
And you were even trying to control like on the, yourself and block yourself on the call exactly the same way that you were doing when this guy wanted to get serious. Our team was like, hey, we have this, but we can't invite you in, darling, unless you're going to fight for it. And you're like, oh, well, I mustn't be ready. And I'm like, great. And then I called it tight and ripped you a new one. And you were like,
and I needed it.
I got pretty brutal with you because I could see through the nonsense. I could see through you treating yourself like a peasant when I'm like, no, the Queen Jodie's over here.
I can't even, I know we're talking about the old story, but I can't even connect to the peasant version of Jodie anymore because I choose my vibrations to be so high every single day through the beautiful work that the program brings. I can't connect to her anymore. And I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I mean, I'm in the same conversation where I think back and just with all the new energies coming in, there's been a lot of past things that need to come up and be healed. I'm sure many of you are experiencing. And I'm kind of looking back at some things being like, how was I in that situation? Like it feels like another lifetime. And that's the beauty, girls, those of you watching this that are really deeply resonating with Jodie's story is the minute you say yes to yourself and realize that you are in your own way and you're the only one that can actually choose something different for yourself, you are going to start creating such a different reality that you're literally just going to go, I don't even recognize that girl that used to push men away. I don't recognize that girl that was in scarcity because Jodie had scarcity showing up so hardcore to the point where I said, I can't invite you in because you're not valuing this investment. You're not valuing that you're worthy of this, that you're worthy of actually investing in yourself. Because she'd already told me, Lucy, I've just recently done, renovations on my house. I said, great. So how come you can do renovations on your house, which isn't going to change a thing for your self-worth? It isn't going to get you into a soulmate relationship. What's the point of having this beautiful house that you easily invested in? But then when it comes to you actually being fulfilled and actually being able to attract someone in so you can share that house with someone, I go, What's the deal with that? And Jodie actually, I don't know if you remember this, but you kind of just went a little like, how do I say without saying, like you went a little dumb.
Fair enough, yeah.
That sounds so brutal, but I can't think of a nicer way to say it. She was, because she was like, well, how do I get resourceful for myself? I'm like, Jodie, darling, you've invested way more in your house. Let's have this conversation again. You're acting silly now. And that's not a judgment, but you were going into this place of like, I don't know how I could do it. And I don't know how, and you're like, Lucy, help me. And I'm like, sister, you didn't have me helping you trying to figure out how to get resourceful for your renovations. And so it was a very interesting conversation where I was just observing it and showing you the conversation. And then I know the penny was dropping where you were like, oh, I've never thought of it like that.
Yeah, money mindset for myself, and this comes from my past story, was hugely scarce. I just could not spend money on myself. I spent money on my house, but that's because that's tangible and that's seen by society that, oh, Jodie's doing really well because she's bought a house and she's spending money on a house. But actually I was living in this house crying because I was on my own, because I couldn't let true intimacy in. And actually the money that I put into my beautiful home, which I adore and I'm so grateful to have, if I'd put that money into myself long before I bought my house, who knows where my life would have been. But not investing in myself, again, it was the non-worthy story.
And it was opting for the security and setting yourself up. And actually, you know, I was in that same place where all my friends were investing in properties, and I was like, am I going to put all my energy and resources into setting myself up, or am I going to choose that I want to do that with someone else because I trust that that's going to happen? So I was one of the few out of all my friends that I said, I'm going to have a house, but it's going to be with my soulmate, which it is now. And even when I first got into the relationship, I moved into his apartment that he'd got. And I was like, wow, I had so much deep faith and trust that I was really going for my plan A. Now, this is not saying for those of you that have an investment property that it's silly. It's a fantastic thing to have, right? We're not doing this testimonial to talk about property. But because so many of you just naturally are like, yep, I'll invest, you know, over $150,000 for a deposit in that, no problem, no questions, yep, I'll do that. You don't even hesitate. Or you do the same with a degree, or you do the same with extra, you know, learning through, you know, courses, university. But when it comes to you, you have this whole story of, well, I'll do it when I have the time, I'll do it when I have the money, and it's bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit. So the reason I was just going a bit deeper on this is because I see this so much. And I'm so glad that you actually, after I didn't invite you in on that call and actually really kept it tight, Jodie came back in a matter of days, and she reached out to my assistant, Charlotte, and she said, look, whatever it is, I'm doing it. I'm done.
And I was so done. Yeah.
And here you are. And I'm just so proud of you, because I knew that you were the sort of person that we could help. And I knew that's why our team will not invite you in if we do not believe in our heart and know that we can help you and over deliver. We just won't invite you in. And so the risk is actually on us, because we have a reputation, we have a proven process, and we don't want people coming in and trashing that. So you girls that are watching this have to know that all the risk is on us. Because if we get the wrong people and we don't get results, then our whole business goes under. That's the truth. So, you know, it's been such a beautiful journey watching you. When you came in, how did that feel for you when you said yes to Jodie on that call? To go, you know, walking over that bridge of fear and then saying, no, I want my dream more.
There were a few emotions. The main one was pure excitement, because I knew, I mean, I'd been watching your free group for probably 3 or 4 months before, and everybody says it, but when you do your lives, it's like, she's speaking to me, she's speaking directly to me, nobody else. And I resonated so much with everything that you said. So standing in my own way for those, you know, the 2 calls that I cancelled and then got in, it was a sheer excitement feeling that, oh my God, I've done it. I've done what I know is going to work for me. Yes. And then there was also, shit the bed. What have I just done? What's going to happen? Will this work for me? There was all of the, obviously fear, emotion comes up. So yeah, there was huge amounts of emotion, but I came on and introduced myself to the group, and when I watch those videos back, my voice is so high pitched and squeaky, and I was just over the moon with happiness, really, that I'd chosen myself for the first time in 34 years.
It's powerful. It's so powerful because, I want to be really transparent with you girls that there is a transition that happens. Like, there's excitement, there's fear, then there's I want to get it right and I want to just tick off this module. There's this transition as you start coming in and moving out of the head and into the heart. It's not like you change in 24 hours. Suddenly you're like, yay, I've chosen me. And then there's this, roller coaster, because transformation looks like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. And so I saw you coming in and you were like in it to win it. And then you were really hitting that place as you started to transition deeper into the heart space, where it was less jazz hands, less, being a good girl and good student, trying to get it right, when you were like, oh, okay, I need to take off all the masks and I need to just actually feel my way through this process.
Yeah.
That's what was the turning point for you.
And it was massive, I have to say. I was very much jazz hands and put a smile on it even when I don't feel like a smile. And there's a performer in me. I do stage performance, I sing and I do all sorts. And I took that into just everyday Jodie, which was so, I want to say the word false, but I wasn't being fake, but I wasn't being authentic. So
the truth is you weren't being authentic. And so let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
It is fake. I've been there, I've done that. Let's just call it what it is. It was fake because it wasn't authentic Jodie.
Yeah.
Both ways. You weren't presenting the grounded, trusting, big, unapologetic version of you. You were in the, I want people to like me. I want to show people how good I am, instead of being you. So I really just wanted to hone in on that point, because we can call it what we want. We can talk ourselves out of anything. But at the end of the day, if you're not being authentic, you're being fake. You're being inauthentic. You're not being real. And that's why you can't have life the way that you want it. Because the first thing we've got to do is get real with ourselves and go, I give myself permission to just be me. To just be Jodie. And that's what's shifted. Is there, if you're not feeling something, you're not going to suddenly just go, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to do it. You're going to stop and go, well, hang on, does that feel good for me? And that's a big shift. When we're just doing jazz hands and we're just like, oh, everything's fine. We're not discerning. We're not clear with our boundaries. We're not loving ourselves. We're betraying ourselves every day.
Yeah, and it felt like that as well. When I really, really think back, I'd get home and I'd have like this feeling in the pit of my stomach that actually, wait a minute, that doesn't feel good to me. What the way I acted today, that doesn't feel good to me. And like you said, the shift came in such a huge sense of just sitting back and just being. And my being energy now it's less jazz hands. I mean, every now and then you want to put a smile on it, but the jazz hands are in my pockets and only come out when it's appropriate. And I have such certainty in Jodie just being, I say just being enough, but Jodie is enough. In fact, Jodie is more than enough. I am amazing, and I feel that in so deeply in my heart, and so much has changed for me through realizing how wonderful I am in this world and what I've got to give, and I don't have to live the story that I was brought up with and is the norm,
Totally. I love hearing that so much. So if you could just share with us, what are those things that have changed for you?
So I'm now completely living my purpose. I've quit my job. I'm moving towards work that sits in my soul. So it's so much more aligned. I haven't finished my job yet, but it's very much on the horizon. I will wake up every day knowing that I get to go and do something that makes a difference in this world, rather than going to a job where all I really went for was because I love the people. I like my colleagues, but the job, it's kind of like, what was I doing for 3.5 years in this job?
Yeah, it's not reflecting your actual purpose.
Not at all, no. And my family dynamic is completely different. We're so much more open now. Our conversations are beautiful. We go a lot more in depth, whereas before it's very surface level and a little bit not always authentic, as we've said. So that's changed completely. My dating life is on a completely different level. I'm meeting men that I connect with so deeply because I am letting it happen rather than letting the bodyguard stand in the way of that.
Yes, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So how do you feel about, knowing there's still such uncertainty in the world right now, but how do you feel about, wrapping up 2020 and then heading into 2021? How do you feel about life and your future?
Amazing. I don't even feel, and I don't want this to be a reflection on how terrible COVID has been for some people, but I don't even feel like I'm living in a pandemic. All I see is possibility and opportunity. And I have gratitude for being in lockdown for the last 6 months, because I've been able to do this work. I've been able to do other things that bring me joy. I have got to know myself so deeply. Rest, or you need rest as a human being, and I didn't do that before.
No, that's the feminine. So we only rest if we worked really hard, versus living from the feminine and saying, what do I need? What do I need? Those 3 words, what do I need? 4 words, what do I need? When you're truly in love with yourself, you're going to check in many, many times throughout the day. So I want you girls watching this to ask yourself, what do you need right now to step into your greatness so that you can live life the way that you want it, just like Jodie is right now? What would you say to beautiful soul sisters right now that know that they need to do something radical, and they're in this community and they're watching this talk with you right now because it is resonating? What do you want to say to these women?
The only person that can do it for yourself is you. You don't go and ask your friends, oh, I'm thinking about doing this course, should I? Their opinion doesn't matter. If you feel something in your heart, if you're watching Lucy's videos and think, she's talking to me, she is talking to a huge aspect of you. You're the only person that can make that choice. And do you want to look back in a year and be in exactly the same place that you're in now? Even 5 years, if you are standing in your way now, you'll still be standing in your way in 5 years' time.
Exactly right.
So
beautiful.
Yeah, get out of your own way, because the program was more than I ever expected. It wasn't just, wow, it worked. It was more. I've got more out of it than I ever expected. It's the most profound, the most deep, the most beautiful community. You share so vulnerably because it's safe. There's no fear of, oh, what if my friends find out? What if my family finds out? No, it is a safe vortex of love, as we call it, and it is filled with so much love. And it's with that love and support that you will change your life.
Yeah, you need the love and support because it goes deep, and all your shit's going to come up. And it's not comfortable. This process is not like we're all just like cheering each other on and it's just like rah, rah, rah. Not at all. This is going to challenge you on every level in a way that you haven't actually had in therapy or any other modality, because it's not being done to you. You are co-creating with the process, with me and my team, and you are fighting for that dream. And that's the only way you can actually truly change your life at a cellular level, is to be involved in the process. So, that was amazing, amazing chat with you. I was just going to ask you, what is the one thing that sticks out to you that you got from this process? I know there's many, but what was the one thing that you're just so elated about?
I know exactly what it is. It's my allowance of receiving now, because I was the most masculine woman with a pretty face and breasts, but I was masculine. My energy was so masculine, and my feminine now allows me to receive and know that I'm worthy of that receiving, whether that's new job, new boyfriend, anything. Even if I saw a beautiful flower, I probably would never have picked it before, because I wouldn't think I'm worthy of that beautiful flower. But now I'll pick it and I'll spend time with it and love on it, because I love on myself. I'm just very much in love with life.
It's amazing. It really is, because this is the crux of what you actually need. Many of you think you just need some dating tips or, you know, a quick fix and change the profile. It's you that you've been looking for your entire life. It's you that you need. And when you get that soulmate relationship dialed in, then the man comes in from the overflow, because you're overflowing with your own magic. So you're not coming from lack. You're not coming from neediness. You're not coming from scarcity and I've just got to get anyone. You're actually so in love with you that when he comes along, he adds to your life instead of you trying to make him the one that's going to fix your life. It's a very big distinction. So thank you so much.
Literally, I'm visualizing it as a magnet.
Yeah.
I feel like I am now so expansive in comparison to who I was before, and he's magnetized to my vibrations and my energy.
Yeah, it's completely different. I mean, you look different. You were gorgeous when you came to me, but now you're even more gorgeous because I can feel that light emanating from inside of you. I can feel you a lot more rounded. You're not pushing. You're just really, I can tell you're in love with yourself. You know, it's like this golden glow around you that you're just excited to share about all this stuff. You know, it's just flowing from you. And as you girls can see, Jodie's a spectacular looking woman, and many of you are absolutely beautiful, but that's not enough. It's about letting that inner world magnetize in your man from your energy and from your belief that you can have it. So thank you. I know we could keep chatting forever because it's just so juicy, but thank you so much, Jodie, for coming on and sharing your journey. And you are literally looking at someone that was being eaten alive by scarcity and excuses. So if Jodie can actually overcome that to the point where now she's working with us because of, you know, the outstanding results she got, then you have nothing in your way. That's just an illusion. There is nothing in your way except for you. So my invitation and Jodie's invitation is, what would it look like if you got out of the way? Everything would show up. All right, beautiful ones, you know this is speaking to your heart. We're going to go now. But it's not a coincidence you were watching the Spotlight discussion up until now. And it's because you are feeling this in your ovaries. You're feeling it in your vagina. You're feeling it deeply. And all you got to do is just say, yeah, fuck yeah, I deserve it.
Yes, you do.
All right, beautiful one. I better go and get that little girl who's still not going to sleep. She just wants to play. She just wants to party. She's like a mama bear.
She's got the joy.
I know. She's got so much to share. All right, beautiful.
Thank you, Lucy.
Bye.
Bye, Queen.